Maybach music.
He will have position on Patrick.
Maybach music.
So here we go again. Isildur on the button.
Isil with King 6. He comes in for a raise. Pavel has Queen 7 suited in the big. Can't see him going anywhere.
He raises to 35 million. Pavel calls. Nice door card, and both players have flopped a pair.
See, Isildur does the backdoor flush draw as well with his king. And he keeps the aggression up as he has done every time he's flopped any hand in the heads-up play. Pavel, of course, has backdoor diamonds. So he will surely call.
Now, if he catches a diamond on the turn, he might want to play the hand far more aggressively. Obviously, if a heart comes, Isildur will be in the same spot. Currently winning, and it is the ace of diamonds on the turn.
Well, I imagine Pavel will check this and Isildur checks back.
Pavel...
Unless Isil thinks he can get his opponent to call with a worse hand. He is cutting out a big bet.
This is a big pot developing here. Pavel with third pair nut flush draw. Isildur putting a sizable bet there, 105,000. Currently winning with his king.
Pavel obviously will call here. Does have a pair and the backdoor nut flush draw. No reason for him to fold.
It wouldn't surprise me if he raised.
Well, I think raising just makes all the bluffs fold and every better hand still calls. Oh, he doesn't. I don't think he's thinking Isildur's necessarily going to bet this big with just the king. If he knew that, he would raise, but I think he's expecting Isildur to check back.
Wouldn't the ace have been a good card just to rep it, though?
And, well, he's got a pair. If he had no pair tonight, I think he might try and bluff. But Pavel does have a losing hand. I suspect this will go check, check. Pavel trying to work out how he missed that one. He desperately gets showdown. So he could rep hearts here. He does rep hearts.
Wow!
He moves all in. What a play. What a play. He moves all in. How can Isildur call?
Isildur can't call here. He's thinking it through in his head. He's thinking, he called me on the flop. If he caught the ace on the turn, surely he would have bet.
Well, it's hearts or nothing.
Raised. Yes, he's checking the chip count. This would be an astonishing call if he makes it.
Like 300 behind here.
Surely he can't call this. Just thinks there's no way Pavel calls 100 million with a flush draw.
In actual fact, he did. He had the nut flush draw in diamonds and a pair.
Well, the problem is the flush draw that he's most likely to check call with would be the king high flush draw for a pair of kings. And Isildur has that blocked. That is what is playing into Isildur's mind here. If he had the king of spades, he would just have to fold this. He does have pretty much the only flush draw.
He is seriously considering calling here, James.
I can see why. I can see his reasoning, and he's right. There's what hand does he call with a flush draw? Could, of course, be the nut flush draw. That's the only way he can be beat here is if Pavel has the nut flush. That's what he's thinking. Has this guy got exactly the kind of hand he has? Worst pair that is now trying to rep the flush. At first I thought there's no way I can call. Thinking through it the way he is, we can definitely find a call here.
His gut feeling is telling him to call. We've all been in this spot. Our gut says call. Our head says you can't call. He can't possibly be winning here for him to make that play. But his gut is saying call.
The King of Hearts, such a crucial card here. such a big card. That's what's playing on his mind.
Yeah, he's not got any king heart combinations.
It's just so crucial. There aren't flush draws he can check call the turn with. Don't have a pair. There's 105 million on the turn.
If he makes this call, he is going to become even bigger hero in the poker fraternity.
He's shaking his head. It'll be some call to win the tournament. Looks like he is going for the fold.
I think I'm going to jump out of my chair if he makes this call. It'll be the most unbelievable call I've seen in this situation.
Can't call. Looking at the trophy. He was glancing at the trophy. That is what he will get if he makes this call. And €1 million, of course. And if he were to call, this will go down as one of the great hands in poker.
He's thinking he hasn't got an ace. He would have raised on the turn.
Well, it's the ace-high flush, pretty much or nothing. It sort of blocks the other pair and flush combo.
This is unbelievable tension.
I'd like to see Pavel, how much he's squirming in a seat at this spot. Pavel simply had enough of this.
What's your feeling? I think he's going to call.
On edge here.
What do you think at home? I mean, like, this is phenomenal.
So close. Pavel willing him to fold.
This is for the title.
Doesn't want to call, but his gut's telling him. Only the nut flush plays this one.
Wow! What a goal! That's phenomenal!
Oh my God!
That is the greatest goal I've seen live here in Rosmerdorf. You saw it. Isolde made the call of the tournament.
Oh my word! Isolde, with that call, is the Party Poker Millions Germany champion.
That is phenomenal, James. I tell you what, I'm so glad I was in the commentary room.
Maybach music.
Next hand underway. Shrain Vijayaram, first to act. Hard to win pots with 3-deuce offsuit. I mean, can't really blame him for folding. If his opponent actually has it, he's in awful shape. If he's ahead, he's not ahead by much. Vijayaram here with a pair. I believe this is his first pocket pair of the match. He's going to come in for a raise. And Heath with a very reasonable king-8. He's going to defend. 500,000 chips in the pot heading to the flop. A little more than that even. An interesting flop here. Vijayaram with the best hand, but Heath with the up and down straight draw.
2 bets 400,000.
Vijayaram bets here. Heath, of course, going to continue.
Action on 1. 1 checks. Action on 2.
Vijayaram now could make a straight with an 8 or a 4. Heath needs to catch a 5 or a 10 to make a straight. King would also make him the best hand. We know a 5 is going to be hard to come by, but that would certainly be a bit of an action card, though it would put
2 bets 500,000.
lots of straights on board. Now, Vijayaram fires with his 5s twice here. Must feel like he has the best hand, and he is very right about that. 80% here on the turn. And now Ben Heath doing some quick accounting. He's got about 4 million left behind. It actually would be a pretty cool spot to shove here on the turn. It would be so tough to call with 5s. And this is the first time in this heads-up match we've seen Ben really look at his opponent. Ben getting about 4-1 to call, 500,000 to win 2 million. Exactly 4-1. Ooh, and that is a check raise. And now I think Vijayaram's hand may be just barely good enough for him to call here on the turn. Turn was a 3. At least I'm pretty sure it was a 3.
1,390,000.
So it's a raise to 1.39 million. Heath check raising here on the turn. If Vijayaram didn't have the straight draws, like
1,385,90,000.
let's say Vijayaram had ace 6 instead of 2 5s. This play is probably more likely to work. But because Vijayaram does have those straight draws, although an 8 isn't really fantastic, you know, you river an 8 and any 10 has a higher straight. But yeah, I think having that straight draw allows him to call here, and Ben's going to need some help.
Actional 1.
That is not going to do it, but that's a scary river card. Ben hasn't moved all in. If that is what he's going to do, we don't know that. That's the graphics getting a little excited. I mean, this is a scary river. Queen on the end. This would be tough to call if Ben can blast here on the river. I mean, it looks like he's considering it. He's got under a pot-sized bet left.
All in. 1 is all in.
Ben is all in. Vijayaram is 1 word away from winning the Aussie Millions. All he has to do is call with an underpair, basically, to win the match. Easy. I'm sure everybody in Twitch chat right now is like, oh yeah, call, easy, you win, buddy. But this is an incredibly tough call to make with an underpair. Let's see if Vijayaram can figure this out. I mean, we beat Ace 8, King 8, Jack 8, 8-4, heart draws, I suppose. He's asking for a count, which is very reasonable. Man, this would be an epic, unreal call. If somehow Vijayaram can make this, I mean, this would just be next level, unreal. You don't want to double up a dangerous opponent. If Vijayaram was wrong, Heath would have 10 million chips. We got ourselves an even game. But we know that if he calls here, it's all over, baby. Can Vijayaram somehow figure this out? Raise preflop, call. Check, bet, call. Turn, check, bet, raise, call. River all in. Vijayaram's got to call 3.2 million to win 7.5 million. Man, I wish he had had 2 8s here instead of 2 5s. The thing is, though, it doesn't really make a difference, right? Because Heath doesn't have ace 7. He doesn't have king 6, right? He either has 2 pair, a straight, a set, or nothing. Wow, this would be an unreal, unbelievable call if he can make it. One of the toughest spots I've ever seen, really. Heads up for 600,000, and no matter what happens, you got to give Heath credit for putting his life on the line here with king high. Correctly realizes his opponent isn't that strong. And imagine how Ben Heath is feeling right now. He's all in. His opponent is thinking about it. Heath knows if he's called, it's all over. Vijayaram hasn't released his hand yet. He's chopping out the call. That's 2.5 million. That's 3.2 million. That's the call. He's got it right there. If he pushes those chips forward, it's over. Can he somehow make this call? If he finds a call here, this would be the sickest call I think I've ever seen. $600,000. The difference between first and second place. There has been no deal. Vijayaram trying to figure this out here, but this would just be absurd. Can Vijayaram find the call here? Our satellite qualifier in for $135, playing for 600 grand. in front of one of the largest live stream audiences for poker in Twitch history. He's figured it out. He can only really beat a busted draw. Hearts are straight. And no matter whether he calls or not, Vijayaram's instincts this hand has been amazing. Props to Ben Heath's poker face. He is showing nothing. Can Vijayaram find the call here on the river for all the money? This is intense. He's replaying the hand again. He raised, got called. Check called flop. Check raise turn from Heath. And then Heath shoved the river. He calls! It's all over! Holy moly, he wins the tournament! That's it! It's over! Wow, wow, wow! All that money going to Vijayaram. That is the run it up dream right there. $135 into $1.6 million. That is unbelievable. Where else do you see stories like that come true? This is real life right now. Shireen Vijayaram just won $1.6 million with one of the sickest hero calls that I have ever seen in my life.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face. Tell me that you love me.